Take a look at this headline from Al Jazeera. Palestine runs dry. Our water they steal and sell to us. If you read the article, Israel directly controls 85% of the water resources in the West Bank. The problem is not the shortage of water, but the occupation's control of our water. This is our water they steal and sell to us. Is any of this true? Stick around to find out right here at the Israel Guys. Hey guys, welcome back to the Israel Guys, where we believe that in a world of fake news, you should connect to the true and authentic stories of Israel. I want to tackle a few myths in regard to the Israeli-Palestinian water situation. Before 1967, back when the Jordanians controlled this area, only 4 of the 708 Palestinian villages in Judea and Samaria had running water. After just 5 years of Israeli rule, 50% of the homes were connected to a freshwater network. By 2004, 641 of the 708 Arab communities, representing 96% of the population, had 24/7 running water. In 1995, Israel made an agreement with the Palestinian Authority in regard to the water usage in Israel. This agreement was supervised by the United States, along with a number of other Arab countries. The agreement was necessary because the primary source of water in Israel is located in the mountain aquifer, which can be tapped in Israel proper as well as in Judea and Samaria, meaning this is Israel's legal and primary source of water, no matter who controls or settles in Judea and Samaria. The bottom line is, Israel does not steal water. According to the 1995 agreement, both Israel and the Palestinian Authority have access to millions of cubic meters of water. That's more than enough for the daily requirements of Israelis and Palestinians. And in fact, statistically, per person, the Palestinian Authority has access to almost as much water as Israeli citizens on a yearly basis, with Israel only pulling ahead because of their desalination plants that are springing up on their coast. But just because the Palestinian Authority has access to all this water doesn't mean that the water actually makes it to the Palestinian homes. We've seen before that the Palestinian Authority leadership is often way more interested in padding their own pockets than they are in looking out for the welfare of their own citizens. Much of their legally owned water isn't pumped, and the water that is often lost through broken pipes and illegal taps. In fact, if it were up to the PA government, Palestinian citizens probably wouldn't have any water at all. Because of the PA corruption, the National Israeli Water Company stepped in providing water for the Palestinian homes, deducting operating costs from the PA taxes that Israel collects for them. Yes, for them. They really are that incompetent. Israel not only provides their water for them, but they also collect their taxes. This one's pretty simple. The PA is a self-governing body. According to international law and agreements with Israel, they have the perfect right and ability to collect more than enough water on behalf of their citizens, but they just don't. It's only because of the kindness of the Israeli government that the Palestinians are provided with water at all. Israel pumps the water, cleans it, and pipes it to the Palestinian homes with very little in the way of financial compensation. In fact, Israel sells water to the Palestinians at a cheaper rate than it does for its own citizens. When one examines the relevant data, it becomes clear that under Israeli rule, the Palestinian water supply has become larger, more technologically advanced, of higher quality, and much easier to access, almost entirely due to Israeli efforts. Even with this effort, though, the prosperity of the Palestinian people does in effect rest with the willingness of the government to do what is in the best interest of their people. Remember, tune out the fake news and tune in to what is actually happening here in the heartland of Israel.
Hi guys, thanks so much for watching. 2 quick things before you go. 1, smash that subscribe button. Make sure you hit the notifications bell so you don't miss out on any more of our content. Secondly, if you want to help us produce more stories and authentic truth straight from Israel's heartland, you can do so at patreon.com/theisraelguys or at our very own website. It's theisraelguys.com. Both links are in the description below.